What's going on, guys? I'm going to teach you how I help producers to get to a six-figure run rate in this video and break down how one of my students got to over 14,000 a month in revenue in a single month during the slowest month of the year, which is December. So I'm going to break down all that in this video. So before we hop in, if you want to know a little bit more about what I do, then I help producers to get to 1,000 a week predictably without YouTube, without having credits, and without having followers. And so we do this using Zoom calls. If you want to know how to sell with Zoom calls, DM me the word sales on Instagram at Kobe Sample Source, and I'll send you over a free course on exactly the system for how we do it, which is what I call the rapid sales system. So to get the rapid sales system course, DM me the word sales on Instagram at Kobe Sample Source. Now let's hop into the video. Okay, so we got to over 14K a month. Let's break down the process. So step one is to know what kind of offers that we had. So we had offer 1 and we had offer 2. Okay, so offer 1 is going to be the big one. This is the $10,000 offer. We sold one of these, and basically what came with it is he would fly them out to his home studio. He would make them an album, and he would mix and master it. Okay, so that is the offer that he was doing. It's a pretty good offer, 10K. The second offer that we made, offer number 2, was a $1,500 offer. Okay, so he sold 2 of these at $1,500, and then he sold one at $1,200. So I think that was $13,700, and that was around like the 20th of the month. So I think it was $13,700 in total revenue actually. So if I said over 14,000 at any point in the video, I think this is the real number, but I think he may have gotten some more sales than that after it as well. So it probably was over 14,000 anyways. So $1,500 for this one. What he did was 1 custom beat, 1 mix and master. Okay. So if you don't want to fly people out, you can still charge well over $1,000 just for this. I have people do this with like 200 followers. Okay. Some of my students do it. So, but this particular student, he sold 1 of these, and then he sold 3 of these. So 1 at $1,200, 2 at $1,500, and that got him to around $13,700 if my math is correct, but it's probably over 14K. Okay, so these were the offers that we offered. The next thing that we did was lead gen. So this is number 1, and then number 2 is lead generation. So if you don't know what lead generation is, it is getting artists to be interested in you as a producer and wanting to work with you. That's all it is. So to generate leads, what we did is called a 5 guys post. So if you don't know what a 5 guys post is, essentially this is going and putting a story that's blank and saying, I'm looking for 5 artists who are talented to work with. DM me the word go to get started. So if you can DM, you could say something really specific to you. You could say like, I'm looking for 2 artists to make an album for this month. If you're interested, DM me album to get started. You can say something like that. So we put this out, and then we got a couple of sales, and then we did another one. So we went and posted another one. So that said like, hey, we already had somebody do this, so now we only have 2 slots left instead of 3, something like that. So when we did that, basically what happened is we got a huge influx of messages from these 2 sources. So we had like 50 people reach out. So from those 50 people, we were able to generate 12 sales calls. So the way that we generate sales calls is by doing number 3, which is DMing people, messaging them. So whenever you're DMing them, you're going to ask them questions. So I like to use what's called the AA format, which is to acknowledge whatever they have said and then to ask them the next question. So when they DM us the word, let's say they DM us album, and you're like, cool. So I guess like, why did you want to make an album this year? They say, well, I want to make an album this year because I want to build up, my sound, my signature sound. I want to work with a single producer to do that. And you're like, cool. So you acknowledge that. So you'll say in one DM, we'll be like, oh, that's really dope. Like, I think that's a really dope vision. So you go and acknowledge it. And then in the next message, this is where you're going to go and scribble out a question to ask them and say like, okay, cool. Well, like, were you looking for full production? Were you looking for just like regular, pre-produced stuff? And they're like, no, I want to make sure it's customized. So you're going to walk them through a series of questions so that you can get a specific result. So you'll keep messaging and messaging and messaging until you get to the right spot. And then you're going to make your pitch and say, well, I think I can help. Would love to get you on a call and see if I can customize a fit for you. Would you be down to hop on Zoom and do a little vibe session and see if we're a good fit to work? So you're going to go and do your pitch and get them onto the next step, number 4, which is the actual sales call. So if you guys are following, number 1, you want to make a great offer. Number 2, you want to generate leads for your business. Number 3, you want to message them to get them onto number 4, which is sales calls. And so I'm going to walk you through each phase of the sales call. Number 1 is rapport. You don't want to hop onto a call and immediately talk about business. They are not going to like that, and they're going to be nervous and uncomfortable. Human beings need a little bit of small talk. Even if you're not good at small talk, make sure you at least do it for 2 to 5 minutes so that the artist feels more comfortable. They're like, okay, they're a normal human being. The next step that you want to do, okay? So now that you've done rapport, you want to do what's called framing the call. Sales is about getting a yes or no. So all you want to do is get a yes or no. You're not trying to get a sale per se. You want to make sure that they can make a decision. So you want to say like, hey, have you ever been on a call like this before? They say no. Like, okay, well, to make sure you know what to expect, at the end of the call, if everything sounds good, we've gone and previewed some references and beats, and you like what I have to say, then we can move forward. And, we could say yes and do at least a deposit or a down payment. Or if it's not a good fit, no worries. There's no pressure to move forward at all. Is it fair to say yes or no at the end of the call? If they say yes, then you can move on. So that's what you're really trying to get to. All right, next step is previewing. So to preview, all you're going to do is 1, make sure that they show up with at least 1 to 2 references and go through those on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, etc. And you're trying to basically say like, okay, I can do this type of thing and get them to be confident. The second thing that you want to do is go through your own beats. And when you go through your own beats, you're like, hey, are these, don't pay attention to how they sound, but as far as quality goes, is this the quality you're looking for? Or is this not the quality you're looking for? If they say that it is, then 3, you're like, okay, do you think that we would be a good fit to work just based on what you heard, or would you need to go through more beats? So whenever they say that, yes, you are a good fit to work, then you'll move on to your pillars. Okay. So basically pillars are going to be your offer. It's taking these pieces up here and turning it into a payoff. So how does your offer pay off? I like to have 3 pillars. Okay. So the first one might say like, hey, I'm doing one-on-one custom production. The second one might mention the service you're doing, which is like flying them out, or maybe the service is the mix and master. And then the third one would be the guarantee. So the way I like to structure my pillars is to say what most producers do, number 1, which is bad. And then number 2, what I do as a producer, which is good, that's going to help you. So you're like, hey, most producers do this one thing that's bad. I do this one thing that's good. And then you do that in all of your pillars to make sure that they understand how your services stand out, how your guarantee stands out. So as far as services, you can offer anything. Mixing and mastering seems to be the best one, and you can outsource that using a site called soundbetter.com. So just go there and outsource it to there. Now, as far as a guarantee goes, you can do one of 2 things. You can either do money back, which seems risky, but it isn't. So money back, you say like, hey, I'll give you X amount of revisions. And then if it still doesn't sound good after that, then I'll give you your money back. Or you can do the work for free one, which is like, I'll work for free until it sounds perfect. So you say you get X amount of revisions, and then it'll either sound perfect then, or if it doesn't, then I'll work for free on it until you do. So you can do either one of these. It doesn't really matter, but make sure you include that guarantee in there. Okay, so now that we have gone over pillars, now we'll go over closing. So or certainty. So you want to make sure that they are certain 100% before you drop the price. You don't want to drop the price here because then all they're going to think about is the price. You want them to think about the value. You don't want them to think about price. You want them to think about the value. When you're selling high ticket, it's all about the value. Okay? So I'm just harping on that. So to get them certain about this, all you're going to do is say, did my pillars sound like they're not helpful or helpful? Let's say they pick helpful. Like, cool. Well, I guess like on a scale of 1 to 10, with a 1 being the worst and a 10 being the best, where are you at on that scale? They might go and slide over and put themselves at an 8. If you say, why did you pick 8 specifically? Then they're probably going to say like, well, I really like this pillar. I really like that pillar. I really like this beat. And then you're like, cool. Well, what's missing from here that would get you to a 10? And then they either tell you or they come up with more concerns. You want to explain away all of their concerns and then say, was there anything else that was missing from the offer that would get you to a 10? When they say there's no longer anything missing, you're like, okay, cool. So you're a 10 out of 10? They say yes. Okay. So now that you've gotten them there, you're like, all right, are you ready to hear the price? If they say yes, then you're going to drop the price and close. So dropping price is as simple as this. You say you get everything that I talked about for just $1,500. All right. And I'm kind of getting over in the corner here, so let me write it over in the middle of the screen. So you get all of that for just $1,500, and then you just shut up and be quiet. So crickets for about 5 seconds, and then they're going to say probably that's too much. So whenever they do this, a lot of people think that the sale is over with, but this is actually where it just begins. Based on everything, if you've done all of this correctly, then they will respond actually really well. So what you want to do is the closing process, which I call AID. So AID, AID. The first one is to agree. So I always say, no worries, I definitely understand it's a lot of money. You don't want to disagree with them because then they're going to feel pressured. You want to agree with them so that it diffuses pressure. Second, you want to ISO this. You want to isolate it and say, is there anything other than money that's keeping us from moving forward today? If they say, nope, it's just the money, then you go to the double tie down. What a double tie down is you're tying it down to the isolation. So you isolated it and said, money is the only thing keeping them from moving forward. So over here, you say, okay, cool. So if we could figure out the money side, then we can move forward. If we figured out something that works with your budget, then we can move forward. So you're tying it down to that. Okay? So follow AID every single time. If they say yes, then here's how I break down the price. So I say, okay, so cool. It's usually $1,500, but I could split it into 3 if that works. So if we did $500 for 3 months, would that work? Or will we need to split it down more? They say, no, I think we'd have to split it down more. You're like, okay, cool. Well, if we did, I guess in that case, we did $300 for 5 months, would that be more fair? Usually they'll just typically go ahead and take this. If they don't take it for some reason, have a lowest number you'll go. So let's say you pick 250 as your lowest number, and they say, this will not work. I can't even do 300. You're like, okay, no worries. Well, I really want to work with you. I want to make sure that this is fair for you, fair for me. So if you were going to pick a price you could do per month, what would that be? Let's say they pick $100 a month and your lowest is $250. You're like, okay, well, I definitely respect that. I just won't be able to do the project unless it's at least $250. So is there any way that you could come up to at least $250 to do this? If they can come up, then send them the link from stripe.com and close the deal and make $250 a month. If they say they can't do it, they can only do 100, then just go ahead and wrap up the call. The only other thing that I failed to mention here is that before you get them onto the sales call, you want to have something called an application. So with the app, you want to do that through Calendly.com. So Calendly.com. So you go there, you make required questions, and 2 are going to be music related. Like, what kind of music do you like? Do you want to make this album with? Do you want the added services to it? You ask them those questions. But then 3 and 4 are going to be money related. So 3 and 4 are going to be, if everything sounds good on the call, can you put down at least a deposit? And then 4 is going to say, do you have at least $250, your minimum that you want to do per month? So do you have at least $250 to move forward with right now if you want to work with me? If they don't have that, then don't take the call. Now, if you want to take more calls and just take that risk, then you can, and just say like, hey, do you have a budget to move forward with Beats right now? And if they do, then you can go ahead and take the call. So hopefully that made sense. If you build your business that way, then you're just building up the recurring income until you're making an absolute killing at it. So you make several thousands of dollars a month in recurring revenue, so that you don't have to worry about money when it comes to production, and you can only work on a few projects a month, make a ton of money, and be on a 6-figure run rate. So that is how I help my student to get to a 6-figure run rate. Right now we're on pace for about 150,000 a year, a little bit more, a little bit less. We'll see how the year pans out. So hopefully this video was helpful in learning how to make a 6-figure business off of music production. If it was, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And also DM me the word sales on Instagram if you're more curious about the exact strategy we use. I'll send you over a free course. It's at Kobe Sample Source. DM me the word sales and I'll send you over the free course. If you've heard all of that and you're actually ready for one-on-one help and you want me to help you to build a successful business online, then you can actually go and click the link in the description or the pinned comment and simply go and schedule a strategy call with me. And we can talk and chat about like if my program is a good fit for you or if it's not and you should go with a different strategy or a different process, and I can send you some resources on that. So no risk in booking it. Make sure you go to the link in the description or the pinned comment, book a free strategy call, and I can give you a free business audit. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll speak with you guys in the next one.